Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's a bold one here, and yes, we're finally back with a pre-made edited video. So I know it's been a very long time since I've sat down, I've recorded the video, edited it, and then put it out there for you guys. Usually just doing a lot of live streaming, but today, due to obviously I'll be live streaming Grand Arena just for a few more days, and then for the month of June, be kind of taking a break because it's not going to be there. I'm going to be working on just some videos, but I thought today would be a really good time. I got some free time today. Don't have baby, don't have wife here. My wife's at work, baby's with mother-in-law. So I thought, hey, it'd be an awesome time to capitalize on the recent stuff that has gone on in the game. So today in this video, we're going to be talking about the truth behind Gear 13. What are the pros? What are the cons? Why is it really being made? Why is it really being released? Next is the future of the game and this channel. Kind of talking about what I think is going to happen or what could happen for both the Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, but also the channel itself. And then lastly, just talk about some Clone Wars content. I know I have been promising you guys I would talk about it, get some thoughts and ideas, and now I get to finally sit down and express those to you. So with that, let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, well, let's jump straight into it. So, what is the truth behind Gear 13? And I hate to say this, guys. Gear 13 it's not about trying to get better at the heroic Sith raids, right? We do this with Gear 12, Gear 11s, Gear 12 Plus. This isn't about getting ready for events that are current events anyway that are really hard. It's not about that. It's purely about another way for whoever you want to put the blame with. It's either a way for the whales to be separated from the free-to-play players or the minnows or the dolphins. That's purely what it is. And so how do I know this? Well, for one, when you're going through Gear 12 Plus, there's a particular piece that usually has to go. It's either one or two pieces per character. The piece itself, so let's say you got some crystals and you were just gonna get the piece itself, it's like $60 for this piece. Okay. So, and maybe one character could have two of those pieces, maybe none, or just one. But there's always that missing slot, right? And that's going to be where the final piece is, or the two last pieces, depending on which characters. And this is another way for the whales to get ahead of us, or, I'm not a free-to-play player. I consider myself maybe a dolphin or something of the sort. But anyways, it's just another way for them to separate or to give them exclusives or whatever you want to call it. As you guys recall last time, the Malik was this exclusive separation between the free-to-play players and the Krakens and the whales. Generally, they always give it like a week's notice. They said they would anyway. Give a week's notice about when characters were coming and events were coming. And the events usually last anywhere from 5 days to 7 days, depending on what event. Well, the event, I think it was like a day's notice, maybe 2 days notice, and the event only lasted 2 days. So, and everybody knew that, right? I think the reason that happened was because Darth Revan got released. I think Malik was released too early, and I think what happened is that they released Darth Revan too late. It allowed a lot more people to get Darth Revan, and so I think CG, they were like, oh crap, there's a lot of people that got Darth Revan, free-to-play way. We didn't get as much sales as we did with Jedi Knight Revan, so we're going to have to do something different. They put Malik in, they had to buff him, and, just kind of unfolded. One of the things that I always hear people talk about is that CG has always, and EA, I kind of put them together, they're trying to balance the satisfaction of these players who put a lot of money into the game, who I wouldn't say necessarily fuel the game, but they give CG more of a reason to keep the game going. I mean, you're not going to probably work on a game that isn't bringing a lot of revenue in. And so, but they always try to figure out a way to satisfy both the free-to-play players and the pay-to-play players. I think, Padme was an example of kind of a satisfaction for the free-to-play players because, yeah, I mean, there was only like a handful of teams that could really do it. I still think it was more free-to-play because I don't think those characters were necessarily pay-to-play characters like B1 and B2, Droideka. I didn't really see them as, and Grievous and Magna Guard, didn't really see them as pay-to-play characters, and so I thought that was a way for the free-to-play players to have something, but Malik was kind of the pay-to-play whales and Krakens kind of signature exclusive or whatever you want to call it. But the problem is that CG and EA have put themselves in that spot. I mean, it's nobody's fault but their own, right? They made the opportunities to get that, and then they started catching a lot of revenue from the ways and the doors they were opening. So it's no one's fault but their own that they're in this predicament. So, but yeah, that's kind of just talking about Gear 13. That's the reason it's there. I think that's the secret behind it. That's why it's coming. It's not to make stuff easier. My fear of this Gear 13 is that they're going to make events where you have to have Gear 13 Zeta characters in order to get like a really extra good character. That's my fear for it. And I think we'll see that if the... Well, okay, I'll get into... This will kind of segue into my next topic about the future of the game and stuff, but the only way that this will change anything is if the fans of this game and the players speak out, their voices, unite them, get loud enough. If that's what most of the fans want, or the players, is that they need to come together and really push back. If you saw, and this kind of goes into the future of the game, but look at Battlefront 2, for example. When it started, it was rough because of the backlash of the player and the fan community and the player base. They said, no, we're not doing this. This isn't, this isn't fair, or whatever. You call it fair or whatever you want. I'm not trying to put a label on it, but, and EA almost lost their license to continue to make Star Wars games. And, I think Battlefront 2 is at its best right now, 2 years later. For some people, it's 2 years too late. That's fine. I have nothing. There's nothing wrong with that kind of thinking about the game. I think it's at its best of 2 years, and that's because of the fans united and they kind of spoke out and like, hey, something's up. And I think that's kind of where CG is right now with the way that they aren't talking. So my viewpoint on the game right now is that it's a little bleak. I don't think it's irreversible damage. I just think they're going to have to get back on the path that's straight and narrow in order to fix this. Like the way that the CG is talking with the game changers, there's no communication whatsoever. Some of the recent comments on Twitter by like CG Carry about, how much money do you really expect me to spend $5,000 to catch up on this game? They're like, yeah. I mean, so there's stuff like that. And so I think that's just really upsetting the fan base and the player base. But I'm optimistic because if you look at Battlefront 2, I think it's at its best that it's ever been, and I think Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has a chance to come back from that. They have an opportunity to set the path straight and narrow and straight and narrow, whatever you want to say. They have a chance to fix this. That's why I'm optimistic about the future of the game. I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is the end of it, or it's getting close to the end of it. And I just don't think that's it. They got a lot more content they can do, and I'll kind of talk about more of that at the end of this video. But, yeah, just kind of looking at games like Battlefront and some other stuff, I think there's a good chance this game come back. I'm satisfied with what the game's at. Oh, whoops. Sorry about that. So, I'm using my thing as a note keeper so I know what I'm talking about so I won't get lost in my thoughts. But see it happen. But yeah, I think if GC listens, or CG listens to the fans and tries to be more balanced, just more communication I think would be better. I like that they did that interview yesterday. I don't, some of the stuff that they said was a little bit questionable. I thought it was a good start. just hear me out. I don't think it was the most satisfactory, thing.
Like
so the answers
they don't
I didn't like, but it's a step in the right direction, right? At least they're not
he
being
said usually
quiet.
they're just like
They hope to do more of
they're
these,
just
which is
there.
I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, guys, I would say just keep your heads up.
No, he just said that
as I said, I'm satisfied with the game only because
like
I'm still trying to get characters ready for
he said
certain events. Like I still got to catch up on.
He said he wasn't worried
C3PO,
about
which I'll be doing next week. I'm finally ready for that. Finished it today. All my farming. For Darth Revan and Malik, and then Padme. I'm still a little bit behind, so I'm satisfied with the grind and the pace that I'm going. I'm just hoping that I don't get too far behind eventually. So that's me.
Yeah.
And last, we have to talk about Clone Wars content because this is really important because this is where our fiscal quarter, is that what they call it? Anyways, this is for basically until I think the Clone Wars series, the animated series, comes back for its final season. This is what Capital Games will be focusing on, and as you guys know, that the Geonosian territory wars, territory battles, is coming in July. So that's a good time to talk about it because it's all coming up. They're probably getting ready this month or this upcoming month for all of it. Some stuff to think about. Rework. So first of all, I think we're in for a Mace Windu rework. I think being the most powerful Jedi besides Yoda, probably should have a rework. Clone rework. I think that's something that everybody's been asking for, and we're going to get. I think that's something for everybody. I think that would be a good way to bounce back for the free-to-play players because clones really aren't. I mean, I would say that they're 100% free-to-play accessible. You can do a lot of passive farming on them, and they're not very good at the moment, but I think there's a good chance that we can get them to where they need to be if they just do a rework. Also, on top of those, is that they can add more clones and Jedis, and so Republic Jedis anyway. So not Old Republic Jedis for the moment, but clones. You also have people like Commander Wolf and Greer. I think Commander Greer. He's the one that Kashyyyk that Yoda chopped his head off. I think it was Greer was his name. Anyways, can't remember his name, but just other clones to add to the game. I would like to see the clone commandos. Fixer, Sev, Scorch, and Boss. I think his code name was Boss. Can't remember his number or whatever. But those four I would love to see part of the game. That would just be hands down. That would be good enough for me in terms of new Clone Wars content. That's all I would be asking for. But there's plenty of other stuff like the different other clones. I'd like to see anywhere from 5 to 6 more clones added to the game. I don't think we'll get that many. We'll love to see reworks on the current ones that we have. Not just art rework. Obviously we had that, so I'm good. But legitimate, ability reworks and health and all that fun stuff, kit reworks. With Jedis, I don't know any more Republic Jedis or Galactic Republic Jedis that I can think of off the top of my head that I would really like to see in the game. You have some on the council like Shak Ti and Kayamundi. I don't know how you say his name. The guy, what about the droid attack on the Wookiees? That guy that everybody memes about. I'd like to see a few of them probably, but off the top of my head, there's not anybody else I'd really like to see. But I'd like to hear about what you guys think you would like to see in this upcoming possible Clone Wars content coming out. So, and then to the conclusion of my Clone Wars conversation is Fallen Anakin. I think that we are on the road there. I think with all the reworks of General Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Anakin, and then we have the release of Padme, and then there's possibly another release of, some people think it could be, so why can't I think it's not Palpatine, it's Sidious, it's, I totally blanked out. You guys know who I'm talking about, though. So, Chancellor Palpatine, I guess. Yeah, Palpatine would be his name. Yeah. Was Palpatine. I don't know what I was thinking. So, he would be good. That would be a possible, marquee character to come out or whatever. But, so,
that would be something to try to get. I would get some characters ready for that. Obviously, to get Padme, you're going to have to get some Separatists ready, so keep that in mind. There's also doing some new Separatist rework, so you won't have to do the Grievous and droids. I'm going to, because that's a good territory wars, territory battles, Grand Arena team to use. So I'm gonna work on that team after I get done with all this Old Republic stuff. So, and just kind of finish off the video, we're kind of done talking about the future of the channel. This is more of a contingency plan. I love Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. It's the game I spend the most time on besides Battlefront 2. I don't really have time to spend, hobby-wise on other games. So those are the only two I kind of limit it to. And I would absolutely love to see this channel be solely for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I'd love to see a long shelf life for the game. I'm glad that they have the mindset of a long shelf life, but just things happen. So it doesn't always turn out the way that we want it to, or even for them. But I'm glad that they have the mindset that we want this game to last a long time, because they have a lot of content more to work with. They have the Clone Wars coming up, and then they have Episode 9 that's coming up. That it's a lot more content to spew out, and more raid ideas, stuff like that. And so I would just really like to see this game. But let's say it doesn't. Let's say it dies, whatever. Really, my plan would to be just to do other Star Wars related stuff, like other Star Wars games. I plan on doing, when Star Wars The Fallen Order comes out, I plan on streaming that for you guys. I think that would be a lot of fun to do. Even though it's not Star Wars Galaxy Heroes content, it's not multiplayer, so it would be cool just to do like a single walkthrough and then just kind of leave it at that, and then play it again on my own time. But then Star Wars Battlefront 2, I'd like to cover that a little bit, just to play and hang out with you guys and stuff, if it doesn't work out. But my mindset is for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and nothing else for my content. So with that, guys, this video is getting pretty long, so I'm going to leave it at that. If you haven't yet, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell just to be sure whenever I'm streaming or new videos come out that you'll be there to join in on the fun. So with that, guys, I'll leave you to it, and I'll see you later.